This Bloodborne series covers how to do all quests and missable content in order so that all choices and rewards will be available. For best results, follow this series from the start of part 1. There will be spoilers in the form of important information, and as usual, useful timestamps can be found in the video description. At the end of part 4, we defeated the One Reborn and made our way to the base of Mergo's Loft. In part 5, we will trek through both Mergo's Loft, also known as the Nightmare of Mensis, and the Upper Cathedral Ward before making our way to the Forsaken Cainhurst Castle. Beginning from the Mergo's Loft base lamp, we will move away from the lift and over the large stone bridge. Running up the path that follows will bring us to the main entrance of Mergo's Loft. Also, I'm giving an arachnophobia warning as there are spiders ahead. Luckily, we don't have to engage with them. We can instead go up the stairs to the right, then drop down past where they are all hanging on the ceiling, and move out through the back right exit. The hostile hunter Edgar will attack us at the first major bridge, but we can just run past him and basically all the other slow enemies in this upcoming section. There is a shortcut lift we can activate to the right as we enter back inside the building, and I believe this goes to the Mergo's Loft base lamp. Doubling back, we'll go to the bottom floor of this interior and run past several of Mergo's attendants to reach a second lift. This one will take us up to a semi-exterior section of the loft, and we can run a short distance to reach and activate a birdcage lift that goes back down to the Mergo's Loft base lamp. If we go down a nearby staircase, we can find a single bloodstone chunk before we go through the door near the birdcage lift. After passing 2 skeletal puppets, a cutscene will play out, followed by a boss battle. Even if you fight the boss blind, I recommend watching this boss battle section after the fact, as we will be grabbing a key item during it. That said, you can pause now if you want to fight it blind. For everyone else, Micolash, host of the Nightmare, is an interesting boss. A large part of the challenge here involves navigating the labyrinth-like area to hunt down and damage Micolash. The goal is to get him to run into a small arena room where he will be forced to fight us. At that point, it basically turns into a hostile hunter-style fight, albeit one with a couple of minions thrown in. Upon reaching half health, Micolash will appear to be defeated. He's fine, however, and we will then need to navigate to a new section of Mergo's Loft to find him. Exiting the arena, go down the hall and up the stairs to the right, then move along a curved path. There's a spiral staircase that we can actually go to the bottom of to defeat a Wandering Madness for 3 bloodstone chunks, then continue down and past a couple of attendants for the Moon rune. We then need to move all the way to the top of the spiral staircase, grabbing some blood vials along the way. This path will eventually bring us back to Micolash, whom we need to follow. Dropping down into an arena, he will then run and slam the gates down to block our pursuit. To reach him, we need to go up the stairs to the left of the mirror, then up 2 more sets of stairs to the left. Then turn right and go along a fringe path where we can grab a bloodstone chunk. Finally, we can drop through a hole to reach the arena for fighting Micolash and finish him off for good. Before leaving this area, we will exit the arena, then go down the stairs to the right. At the end of this path is the Iron Door key. Not that this key is super important, but I'll go ahead and show where it can be used. It's on a door near the entrance to the Micolash boss battle, and leads out to a new section of the bridge, but I recommend not going there yet. We will be coming back to this same area a bit later on. We do not want to defeat the Brain of Mensis yet, which is out there, or else we will miss out on a good rune that we can get later on. Instead, we will move from the spot we defeated Micolash in, up the stairs to the left, then left again, then left and up more stairs, and finally go across a short bridge to the right to reach the Mergo's Loft middle lamp. Before doing more in Mergo's Loft, we actually need to complete some other tasks. First, starting from the Cathedral Ward lamp, we will backtrack into the Odin's Tomb area to find Arianna. We can speak with her if we wish, then finish her quest line with a quick attack. Doing this will get us our second 1/3 of umbilical cord, of which we need to get 3 for the ultimate ending to the game. We can also grab Arianna's shoes. Also, we don't need to do this for any trophies, but if we want the Formless Odin rune, we can defeat the Odin Chapel Dweller after speaking through all of his dialogue. Next, let's make our way to the Upper Cathedral Ward. We can reach it by going through the hall that is to the right of the Cathedral Ward lamp, the one with a lift in it. After reaching the top of the lift, we will then need to cross the bridge and move to the top of the tower. There's a set of double doors at the very end of this path that we can open with the Upper Cathedral key we found back in the Unseen Village. It's then just a short run to reach the lamp for the Upper Cathedral Ward. From that lamp, we will move up the stairs and to the right to get the Great Lake rune. We can then go up the other path deeper into the Upper Cathedral Ward. There are a lot of brain suckers in this location, so be prepared to deal with them. Next to the first brainsucker is the Choir Garb armor set. After grabbing that, we will run through the nearby doorway and down the hall to the left. Moving down the dual stairs, we will move left and through a long hallway to reach a ladder near another brainsucker. At the top of the ladder, we can go down the hall to the right and behind us, which has a brainsucker at the end of it. There are a few item pickups here, including the blindfold cap. It's probably best to defeat that brainsucker before going through the other door near the ladder we just climbed, as there are a couple more brainsuckers out there, and the more we have to deal with, the harder it will be. One of the brainsuckers out there will drop the Orphanage key when defeated. Once it's safe, we can open up the pair of double doors and interact with the statue outside to get the Make Contact gesture, which we will need a little later on. Going back inside, we will move down the left hall to quickly return to the bottom floor. Going down the hall to the right of the main stairs will bring us to the Cosmic Eye Watcher badge. We can then open the bottom pair of double doors with the Orphanage key. Pulling a lever will open a shortcut back to the Upper Cathedral Ward lamp. Also, one of those wolf beasts back in the building we just exited from does drop a bloodstone chunk if I recall correctly, so it might be worth defeating them. Now's a good time to return to Hunter's Dream to spend our blood echoes on leveling up. I was right around level 60 at this point with a vitality of 40, strength of 30, and the rest of my points invested into skill. Returning to the Upper Cathedral Ward lamp, we will go back through the shortcut we just opened, then up a new path to the right to reach the Lumenflower Gardens. A boss is waiting for us there, and you can pause now if you want to fight it blind. For everyone else, the Celestial Emissary is going to be one of the many celestial mobs in the gardens. It will grow in size when it loses enough health and can be defeated fairly quickly with fire damage weapons. Defeating the Celestial Emissary will get us the Communion Rune and cause the Lumenflower Gardens lamp to appear nearby. From there, we can break through a nearby window and grab the A Call Beyond item on our way to a lift. Apparently this lift can bug out and get stuck at the bottom, so we want to send it back up to the top before we move forward and fight the next boss. We can summon an ally, Mensis Scholar Damien, for the upcoming boss fight, and you can pause now if you want to fight it blind. For everyone else, Ebrietas, Daughter of the Cosmos, does have the potential to deal heavy burst damage, especially if we get caught in front of her. Because of that, the main strategy is to try and stay close and on her sides, then hit her with continuous heavy charged attacks. I found the summoned ally to serve as a great distraction. The last thing I will say is that some of her attacks cause frenzy buildup, so it might be worth keeping sedatives handy, and we should definitely keep our health topped off at all times. Defeating Ebrietas will get us the Great Is Chalice and cause the Altar of Despair lamp to appear nearby. We will need to return here in the future, so we should activate the lamp before returning to Hunter's Dream to spend our blood echoes. After getting up my skill a bit higher, I started investing more levels into higher vitality. This next area is a great place to farm blood gems and blood echoes, and I think that is why my level jumped a bit. In any case, we should clear this next spot and collect a few items before I explain how to farm blood gems and blood echoes at it. For that, we will return to the Mergo's Loft middle lamp, then run a short distance to reach the Broken Birdcage lift. Also, I recommend equipping frenzy resistant armor if you have it. We can then ride down the lift and step off it into a secret area a short distance down. This needs to be timed and executed carefully, or else we will fall and get a game over. There are 3 winter lanterns along this bridge that are very deadly, but they also give a good amount of blood echoes and can drop some of the best blood gems in the base game, but that is all I will say on it at this point. There was also a Tempering Damp Blood Gem 5 that I missed while running through here at this point, but I will show where to get it when covering how to farm blood gems here. For now, we will do our best to heal through the frenzy damage and sidestep the winter lanterns. Once on the other side of the bridge, we will run past some of Patch's cousins and pull a lever, causing the brain of Mensis to drop out of sight. We can then drop through a nearby hole and cross over a pit to reach a chest. Watch out for the patrolling winter lantern here, as it can easily prove lethal. Inside the chest is the choir bell. After grabbing it, we will move across the pit and exit out onto the bridge area that the iron door key allowed us to access previously from the other side. We can get a couple unique blood gems and several insight boosting consumables here. We can then drop down to the chamber where the brain of Mensis resided until just a few moments ago to grab a blood rock, which is the max tier upgrade material for our weapons. These are super rare, so think hard before using it to max out a weapon, but I digress. We will then go to the right after dropping down to the nearby bridge and proceed to the interior area with all those Mergo's attendants. There should be a new birdcage lift on the lower level that will take us deep into the depths below. I'd recommend that you don't defeat anything you find down there until you watch far enough ahead in this video. That said, it is safe to step off the lift once it opens up, and you can pause now to enjoy this moment spoiler free. Just don't attack anything you find down there until you come back and watch the next part of this guide. What you should have found is a paralyzed form of the brain of Mensis. Before we defeat it, we want to equip and use the make contact gesture in front of the brain and hold that gesture for approximately 1 minute. Doing this will get us the Moon Rune, which increases blood echoes gained from defeating enemies by 30%. We can then defeat the brain of Mensis to get the living string. We'll come back to defeat Mergo's wet nurse at the top of Mergo's loft in the final part of this series. We do not want to defeat that boss at this point. Now let's cover what I consider to be the best farm for mid to late game blood gems and blood echoes. This greatly benefits from equipping that Moon Rune we just obtained, but if you want to do this more for the blood gems, then you can mainly equip runes that enhance item discovery. I also recommend stocking up on Bold Hunter's marks and storing away any blood gems sitting in your inventory, as it will make it easier to check the blood gems you get while farming. Finally, frenzy resistance gear is optional but can be pretty helpful. Once we are all prepared, we can travel to the Mergo's Loft middle lamp. From there, we need to head to that broken birdcage lift. We'll then ride it down and step off about halfway to the secret ledge. Our goal is to defeat the 3 Winter Lanterns on the bridge as quickly as possible, taking them on one at a time. In this footage, I was able to defeat them pretty easily with 2 heavy attacks, with one of those needing to be charged up. They have a decent chance of dropping cursed blood gems when defeated. They also give a lot of blood echoes, upwards of 10,000 per lantern when using runes that boost blood echoes from defeated enemies. Also, you might remember me mentioning the Tempering Damp Blood Gem 5 that I missed earlier. Well, it's found near the 2nd and 3rd Winter Lanterns. It's essential to have enough blood vials for healing through the frenzy damage and to keep health topped off at all times. I would say at least 6 blood vials are needed per run. After defeating all 3 of the Winter Lanterns here, we can use a Bold Hunter's Mark to return to our last lamp quickly. If our blood vials are running low, we will need to return to Hunter's Dream to refill our stock. If you're running a build that mainly relies on physical damage like me, you are looking for Cursed Tempering Damp Blood Gems 4 or 5, with 5 being better. These gems will come with up to a 20% increase in physical attack up, and then a curse or downside. Some of these downsides are really annoying to deal with and probably not worth the trade-off, like weapon durability down, or especially HP gradually depletes. However, those with attack versus certain enemy types down are usually worth the trade-off. The best, in my opinion, are those that increase stamina cost by a percentage. This can be balanced out by investing some levels into increased stamina so that you can still execute the same number of attacks before needing to recharge stamina. I didn't want to spend too much time doing this farm and got pretty lucky with the gems that dropped, so I settled with using 1 gem that gave weapon durability down, knowing that I will just need to repair the weapon more often as a result. I would have preferred to have 2 of the type that increase stamina costs instead though. In any case, if you do something similar, you should have a weapon that deals well over 400 physical damage to face the remaining challenges in the game, of which there will be many. The last thing we will cover in this part of the series is how to reach the Forsaken Castle Cainhurst. Starting from the Witch's Abode lamp in Hemwick Charnel Lane, we will backtrack outside to the obelisk near the Executioner enemies. We should have obtained the Cainhurst Summons key item back in part 3 of this series from within the upper level of Iosefka's clinic. With that item in our inventory, approaching the obelisk in Hemwick Charnel Lane will trigger a cutscene. We can interact with a carriage after that, and you can pause until after doing all of that to enjoy the moment spoiler-free. Upon our arrival at Cainhurst Castle, we just need to run a short distance ahead and through a large gate that opens as we approach it. The main lamp is found on the other side. If you're having trouble or need any clarification on what was covered in this guide, you can reach out to me in the comments where I will do my best to help. Our next major objective is to journey through Cainhurst Castle and complete just about all remaining NPC quest lines in the base game, all of which will be covered in part 6 of this series. You can find that over on my channel, and if you're new, consider subscribing. You're helping me feed my cats, Marshmallow, and Coco. Have a great day. If you're here today, have a great Tuesday, and as always, thanks for watching.